So there's a lot of cool things about these games. When I was really young, I played them, and I really got fascinated by them. Back in 1995, 96, I think, when you could play Quake 1 on the internet. And it was just so cool. I mean, I was playing guys from Germany and New York City and California. And I was like, oh my God, like, I was freaking out. Like, oh dude, like, I just killed someone from New York, and then, like, I was playing, we're all playing like these guys from all around the world. And it was so exhilarating. It was so crazy, the amount of fun.
Gaming became more than just fun for John. His natural talent and passion for gaming became obvious, and he started thinking about competing professionally.
I got pretty good advice from my guidance counselor. He was talking to me, and it's like, you know, sometimes things come up in life, and you got to take them. You have to go for it. And you know, in this world, you have to be aggressive, and you have to, if you have an opportunity, knock on your door and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to take it, because you don't want to go through life regretting something you didn't really pursue. And when I turned 18, I found out about a tournament down in Dallas, and I was like, man, they're offering 10 grand for first place, and like, I think I'm pretty good at this game. My mom's reaction to all of it was, you know, I mean, I really didn't talk to my mom for a while, just because we had really kind of a fallout there, and I really wanted to go to this tournament. I really wanted to play and compete, and I don't think she really knew how much I loved competing. I was a very good pool player. I used to have a manager and stuff like that, and travel me around when I was like 12 or 13 years old playing pool. My parents got divorced, and it was my mom's weekend when the nationals, the junior nationals were, and she didn't let me go. So that's kind of like the reason why I was so driven to go to this tournament. I moved out right about 2 weeks before I graduated high school, mainly just because I got grounded all the time from the PC. I mean, you know, they ground me all the time. I mean, I got grounded for 8 months one time from the PC. No computer, eight months. And I ended up moving out, and I moved in with my dad, and even my dad, you know, is like he wasn't against it, but after him seeing me playing for 2 months, solid, like training for this tournament, I don't think he really knew what I was really doing at the time. And I told my dad, I was like, I'm going to this tournament. Like, I got $500 in the bank. I'm gonna go. I'm pushing all in, and like this is everything. If I win any significant money, I'm gonna keep doing it. But if I don't win any money, hey, I'm done. So that's kind of how we did it, and I won that $4 grand. And I came home and slapped that check on the table, and I go, Dad, I won $4,000 playing a video game. And he just looked at me. He was like, man, this is too crazy. You know, 2 weeks later, I got invited to go to Sweden to represent USA, and I was like, this is pretty cool. So I was like, oh, I'll go, you know, of course. And then I went there and beat all the guys. I won 18 games straight, losing 0. That's when I decided to go pro. I approached the company. I go, would you like to sponsor me? And they talked to their president and so forth, and came back and said, yep, we'll do it.
Since 1999, Fatality has won 5 world championships in 4 different games and has brought in approximately $500,000 in prize money alone. In 2005, he won the CPL Painkiller World Tour Finals, bringing in $150,000.
At the beginning, I didn't start off so hot. I mean, I was like 2nd, 4th, 6th, 2nd. I finally won my first Painkiller championship in summer CPL. The main thing was that you want to win the finals in New York City. And I got to the finals, but this time I'm from the lower bracket, and I haven't came back from the lower bracket all season. But somehow I was able to pull through in the finals, and I won 4 straight. I won 2-0, 2-0, and won the whole thing, won 150 grand. And if you've seen the videos or anything like that, you saw it, I went pretty insane.
Every single kid that's heard of Fatality and likes video games wants to become a pro gamer.
Fatality isn't the only pro gamer to struggle with parents who don't see playing video games as a career choice. Many get little or no support from family, even after having moderate success. For kids just trying to break in, it can be a battle that severs relationships.
Probably the most influential resistance I've met has come from my family.
My parents have never really been supportive of me when I've been pursuing competitive gaming.
They don't care about anything, and It's really sad because I really want their support.
I know a lot of players that have, dropped out of school or whatever just to play.
They wanted me to go to finish school first.
You can only play for this much a day, and that's it.
My parents were of different mindsets, let's put it that way.
I got the whole lecture that I was wasting my life away.
My family wasn't happy about it at all.
Maybe it's better if you focus on studying.
I had to fight with my parents a lot, actually.
They don't like it at all.
They really hate it.
I was always having problem with my dad. He was always giving me a hard time of my life, even beating me for playing games all night long.
I had a full-time job, a really good one. They wanted me to stay there for the rest of my life. And I had my life in this city where I lived, all my friends. I decided to leave all of that to live in this gaming house instead.
I literally had 5 years where I didn't see or speak to my parents. That's how disappointed they were.
Did Jamie, you were almost banned from your family? I don't want to talk about that. Oh, okay. Don't say that. Okay. No, I don't.
Despite difficulties with parents, many young gamers still attempt to go pro. With so much competition, most never get close. Being good at a game isn't enough. Players need resolve and tenacity to have a shot at success.
Any up-and-comers that you see coming up through the ranks right now?
There are some young players. There's a player called Lost Cause who wasn't really known, I would say, a year or two ago.
I started gaming when I was about 13, and it pretty much started when I went to my friend's house and saw Fatality playing. He pretty much did what I wanted to do, travel the world and play video games.
I believe his big idol is Fatality, and Fatality was actually one of the reasons why he devoted himself to gaming.
He told me maybe a few years back that he was going into professional gaming. I didn't really get on board then, but I said, hey, I think you need to stay in school, finish school, and then do that.
My dad wants me to go back to college, but this is just what I like to do, so if I do well in gaming, I probably won't ever go back, to be honest.
I know he has a whole thing with his dad that's kind of on and off.
He had had enough because of circumstance at his house. He was just basically wandering, and he got to my house. He stayed at my house for maybe 2 months. There were a lot of things that he had problem-wise, some family problems, some confidence problems in life. He was basically like Kane in Kung Fu and just wandering around without a home and trying to game, like epitome of hardcore, basically.
Like, he was basically homeless for a year or so and just staying in different people's houses. He's not eaten, and he's like scrounged. He had to sell or try to sell his laptop just to get a ticket to WSVG London just to play. Like, he doesn't have money, but he finds a way, and no other player has really done that before.
He went through almost poverty. He was training with friends, and he didn't have money. He was in trouble financially a couple of times. He actually made himself homeless in order to do what he wants to do.
I couldn't find anybody to practice with who would practice consistently, so I decided to just fly out to Canada and do nothing but eat, sleep, and breathe the game. I went to Las Vegas, and I went to Kansas City, and I was just going all over the place practicing. I mean, that's basically when I sold my laptop and some other things just to get the money to go and practice. Gaming was that was what I wanted to do with my life, still is. A lot of people that try to get into gaming, it's hard for them to get into it because they can't support themselves financially. Like, a lot of the leagues these days a lot of them are top heavy. So for 2 months you're doing nothing. All you're doing is eating, playing, and sleeping. And then to go to a tournament and realize that, hey, if I don't get top 3, my last 2 months of my life is worth nothing, really, right? So it's extremely stressful. I've always believed that anybody, if you put everything you have into something, if you want it bad enough, you'll get it. Some people may have to wait longer than others, but yeah, when I sold my laptop, or I would walk like, a certain amount of miles to get to certain points or fly to certain places. I had a goal in mind and I knew I would meet the goal eventually.
Obviously, there are many, many willing gamers to play video games professionally, and, if you don't want to do something, you're going to get shoved aside like an empty shell. Somebody else will do it. Professional gamers these days are young people, usually teenagers. They very often get abused by the ruthless businessmen.
Most of these youngsters stop studying and play a lot every day, every weekend, dreaming about being a professional gamer. And that's something that really worries me, because I have about 60,000 Brazilian players registered in my website that asks for a sponsorship, and we only choose about 5 or 10 of